For example, Apple didn't just do the iPhone with a good hardware. They also integrate the software design and service. And lately, they also keep improving and keep moving, and this is called a dynamic capability.
I'd like to highlight the process, position, and path according to your example. So if you take iPhone, Apple, as an example, because it's so successful. So we want to know why did Apple succeed on iPhone. So it's not only the design itself, but also because they have a very good internal process for design new products, simultaneously meet the demands from the market, but also they have a very high talented engineering team, so they know how to design the new hardware and also the software, and they have very efficient suppliers to co-create the products onto the market, and because they have the path, the history of their development, not only for product design but also their corporate culture. So they have kind of that good corporate culture, and they have a talented engineering team and superior supply chain, so that they can rely on their original process in order to create the new product. So the success factors of iPhone could be referred to, they have a dynamic capability. How could you dig out the sources for a successful dynamic capability of Apple, of iPhone? Then you go for a review on their process, on their asset position, on their path, so that you can know, wow, that is because what process, or that is because what asset position, that is because what path which contributes to the success of iPhone. Okay, so that is the real meaning for the 3P. Okay, and for the other theoretical perspectives, because Tisaroshen only refer to, okay, we have original theoretical perspective, but they don't care too much on the environmental changes. All of this, for example, like 5 force, they don't talk about if we have environmental changes, how should a firm behave? They don't care, okay? And the game theory focus more on the rival competition, okay? So more closely to the competitive dynamics. So someone has the action, sometimes some others may respond. Okay, so that is not relevant to the development of dynamic capabilities. Okay, and resource-based view is more relevant. Resource-based view, how to connect resource-based view up to here. So we have resource-based view, okay, and to dynamic capabilities. You may continue your presentation.
For the resource-based view, we already studied in our previous week.
Yeah.
So resource-based view is like we know how to do and how to create, and also it is not only technology, it is also like internet resource. And for example, for the internet resource, we also need a scale worker. So we need to cooperate not only the outside supplier, but we also need to rely on our internet resource, and we also need to appreciate their cooperating to each organization.
I will put it in this way.
Yeah.
Resource-based view of the firm tells us if we have valuable, rare, inimitable, and non-substitutable resources, then the firm could be competitive and create competitive advantages. But that is only a static view, right? A static view of the firm. And those resources, especially in today's world, we also study KBV, right? Knowledge-based view. And knowledge is one type of tacit resources, the intangible resources. So resources could be tangible and intangible. And we already know if you want to create competitive advantages, the sources of superior performance mostly come from intangible resources. And knowledge is one form of intangible resources. The intangible resources, we will say, we have human capital, right? Structural capital, and the relational capital. So these are intangible resources which can contribute to the establishment of competitive advantages. Okay, so that is what we know from RBV. But actually RBV also don't pay attention to what if we have environmental changes. Okay, the original valuable resources in those situations could be not that valuable, okay, in other environmental changes. So please continue.
So that like the resources like people, tools, and patent, these are not enough. And then the company also need to organize and need to use effectively. So if two companies they both have the good engineers, that when only one company know how to manage and how to create a good product. So there will be the three growth process when it's coordination and learning and reconfiguration. It is the past choice of the company and it can shape the company for the future. So when the friend chooses a direction and it becomes difficult to change for another. So that is why early decision is very important. Imitation is difficult. The authors they argue about the true competitive advantage can from the capabilities that competitors cannot easily copy your product like culture, routine, and deep knowledge. So for the conclusion, this paper also introduced the important idea like that will be success in fast-moving market. It depends on more than just planning or owning the resources. So the company must be able to learn, adapt, and evolve. The dynamic capabilities framework and the real value to strategic thinking by focusing on how companies change. So however, to be useful in practice, future research should offer the clear example tools and case study that can help the manager to build the dynamic capability in their own.
Models to explore strategic choices like how risk-taking helps in competitions, and much also looks outside the organization at competition and market changes, and Cohen stays inside and he focused more on workers and routines. And I think together these papers are like a roadmap for organizations. So Cohen's research on routines could help managers design the training that builds strong habits, while Mark's ideas on exploration could guide when to shake things up. And I think one limit of this bold paper is about they just stop at testing their ideas and neither they both neither test ideas in real workplace. So managers they might need to experiment to see what works in reality. So this my critics for old papers. Yeah. Is about reasonable learning. Thank you, Professor, and thank you, everyone.